Hey guys, what's up? This is the Man vs. Wheelchair podcast, where we talk about shortcuts, secrets, and truths we wish we knew 20 years ago about being disabled. Together, let's take over your disability with a winning mindset and learn to live life the way you want.
Right. I mean, I don't even know if this is like a fair comparison or not. But, I mean, I was born, in everybody says the greatest country in the world, the good old US of A, right? I was born free, I have a disability, but I have food on my in my cabinets. I have money in my bank account. I have my own van that I drive. I'm married with kids. How can I let something like a disability control my thoughts to the point of controlling me as a person? It's like I can't do that. And some people might, because they might not be to that same point. But for me, I mean, it's like, man, I've put in so much effort to get to this point, and I want to be able to share with people, yes, it's hard, and yes, it's effort, and I've put in years of hard work to get where I'm at, but it's so worth it at the end, having my baby girl come in and sit on my lap, and tell me that she loves me, it's like, wow. That's mine, like that's my little baby girl. And I, if I stayed reclused in my house, in my parents' house, I never would have gotten out. I never would have met my wife, and I never would have had that, and again, I'm not saying that there wasn't times that I didn't recluse. I did. I absolutely did. But I had to get out of that. I mean, it's a funk that will control it so easily. It will control you, and it will consume you. And whenever you finally accept the point of saying, no, you know what, I'm more than this. I'm more than this disability. I'm more than, and even if it's just not a disability, if you're just in a depression, if you're completely healthy, you have to say, I'm more than this, and take one foot, put it down, and say, I'm more than this, put your other foot down, and just slowly take those baby steps. And then eventually you're going to look back and say, man, I'm so far past, how did I ever let that get me down? Looking back now, how did I ever let those little things get me down? But at the time, in the moment, they were everything. I mean, they felt like prison chains. It was terrible. But there is more. There's more out there. You have to want it. But it's not even just wanting it. You have to work for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think you're a great example of the things you can achieve if you kind of if you just over believe, right? And I say over believe because we don't always know what we're capable of. So you have to kind of aim as high as you can, as high as you can imagine, And in a sense, you have to punch above your weight, because if you don't, then you could be leaving stuff on the table, and
right.
That was something that I don't think I ever understood when I was in my teenage years, or maybe even a little bit into college. I never understood, I never thought I was going to be in a relationship, like a long-term relationship. I just never thought it would work out. And I mean, I still don't have kids, but it's not like that's like barriered off for me, I just have made the choice not to. But the thing is about that, I never ever believed I would be in a position to have kids. I would be, I never believed that it was possible for me to. So, I mean, now, like, I have the option, and it's a choice not to, I never thought I would have that choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, that's part of this whole, getting that right mindset. And like I said, I seriously shot for the stars, man. I'm like, I went crazy out there. I said, the doctors told me I couldn't have kids. They told me that I wasn't going to live past 21. They told me all these things. And then as life went by, come to find out, I was misdiagnosed. So if I would have let that happen, if I would have let that doctor's diagnosis,
Probably.
I guess, right? Is that the right word? Whatever. If I would have let that define me, then what was there to do? Where was there to go but down? And my parents were so awesome. They were like, okay, that's fine. That's good. You're still going to go home and do your chores. You're still going to go to school. You're still going to, it's like when you're dead, you can stop doing these things. But until that point, you're going to live, So, those are things that I had to overcome and deal with. And because of that, I said, I wanted to be successful, with a job. I wanted to get a job. Well, getting a job with muscular dystrophy is extremely difficult to do because there aren't very many things that you can do. Even simple, administrative assistant positions. You have to file. You have
answer
to staple,
phones, pick up phones.
You have to do all. Exactly. And, I feel very blessed that I have a position, my job, that the owner is very understanding, with my limitations. But let me tell you, I got that job from the interview based on my personality.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, yes, I was qualified for the job, but my boss hired me because of my personality and my attitude. And she liked the outlook that I had, and she could tell that it was genuine. And all of that comes full circle back to what we're talking today. I've been building that since I was a teenager, and not realizing that every day that I was refining my personality, my attitude, was eventually going to land me a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I mean, it's kind of nuts that like we're stoked about like getting a job, right? But the thing is, like, that's, like you said, it's hard to get a job or to maintain a job, while you have muscular dystrophy or, something else. Like, it's just, okay, so the world was not set up for people like us, It was just because simply we're not the majority. But the world is, I think, I don't know much about the history of it, but I think that people like you and I living to this age is fairly new, right? Would you agree? So, like, even 100 years ago, I wouldn't imagine that, I don't know, I'm kind of speaking on stuff that I don't know about, but I'm theorizing that these things are, these small things like getting a job are big accomplishments for people because the world was not set up that way. It's kind of like breaking the rules a little bit, or breaking the norm of what you were taught or were expecting as a kid, right?
Right. Well, I remember even just my grandma and my older aunts and uncles. I would be talking to them about all these plans and ideas, and they would actually say, well, when I was little, back in the the 20s or whatever, it's like if you were disabled, you just laid in bed all day.
Right.
That's all you did. So not only, and you probably wasn't gonna listen to me. You probably weren't going to have a quantity of life, let alone any type of quality of life. And we live in a day and age with technology that I was able to start my own business because of
Right.
technology, which even just, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do. That the technology
sure.
wasn't there 20 years ago. So, the ever changing ecosystem of just society in general is something that you can't you can't just say disabled and I'm in society. Because disabled in society now is not the same thing as disabled in society 100 years ago. And I mean, to even get super dark, they did like, all types of eugenic stuff back then. So if you're disabled, there's a good chance they were just going to kill you because you're not going to have
You're
any
just not a resource.
value. Yeah, exactly. But now look at me, look at me now. I am a resource, and it's primarily my mind, what I can bring to the table. And, I'm not letting that limit me, and I'm not letting things limit me. And again, it's all builds on understanding you have to start with a clear goal of what you want in life. And then you have to start achieving that. Also, in tandem with that the entire time, you have to understand people will help you get there if you treat them right. And it's not this fake facade treating. It's being genuine and developing rich and meaningful relationships. And the only way you can do that is if you yourself value yourself and you value others around you.
For sure. And that's absolutely true. And in addition, it comes back to gratitude, just being grateful for, because everything is going, think about it, man, everything is going our way. You know what I mean? Like, everything is accomplishable now to us, pretty much. I mean, there's pretty much technology for anything you want to do. And anything we want to do, we can still do it. You have to set the goal for it, though. And you have to understand that it's probably a little bit harder to attain, but it is attainable. And that's the thing. I wanted to hit on it because I don't think I ever realized that as a kid. Like, I don't think I did set goals, but I don't know if I ever set goals like that, like long-term goals. Because I don't think I felt that a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do was attainable to somebody in a wheelchair. But I would go as far to say that almost literally anything that you want to do, if you're in a wheelchair, you could probably accomplish it. If you want to climb a mountain, you can probably accomplish that. And again, it's all based on relationships that you build with other people, and because other people are gonna have to believe in those goals as well. But the way that technology allows us to invest in ourselves and spend our time, it's like no other time. I can't think there's been such a plethora of any information you want on the internet. Anybody with access to the internet can literally become super valuable because all the information is there. All you have to do is invest in yourself and learn it. And value is the basis for society, I think. I mean, that might be a bold statement. I think people could disagree. But I think that value is so attainable now and so easily accessible now that you can set these crazy high goals of, if you're in a wheelchair or being disabled, like, you can set crazy high goals that I would have never imagined as a kid. And I just want people to know that. I want people to know that if you look into the resources, then you can basically do whatever you want.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at how many. I mean, seriously, to this point, look at how many YouTube stars. I'll just use that. They're YouTube millionaires. These are just people. I mean, some of them do fantastic, wonderful physical things. Okay, but there are people out there that are just, they set up an iPhone camera and talk into it, giving their opinions and giving their knowledge away. And people are eating it up. And that's all it takes. That's all it takes. But it takes dedication, persistence, and a drive to be able to do that. You have to do that every day if you want people to keep coming back. But I mean, so you're, as long as you're not, limited in speaking, that would probably be a little difficult unless you can use sign language, and then you can start a sign language channel. I mean, there are a lot of hearing impaired people out there. So I mean, it's hard to come up with something that you can't do to share with, unless there is some sort of a mental capability or limit on your mental capability, But that's that's really that's a small minority of people. So if you're sitting listening, saying, "Man, I just don't have anything to offer," you really do. You and we're right here talking. We're just giving our opinions and our life stories, and I'm getting great amounts of value from what you're saying, so I can only imagine other people, that haven't put on this mindset of success moving forward, and setting those goals. So anything and everything that you want to do, within your capability is achievable, and even things beyond what you think your capability is. I didn't think that my capability was to get married and have kids and have a job, but I wanted it. But come to find out that it was within my grasp, and buddy, you better believe it. I grabbed a hold of that.
Yeah, man. And if you think that you don't have anything of value to put out, I mean, I loved your example of YouTubers. Like, okay, these are just normal people just speaking into an iPhone, and you and I just normal people speaking into a podcast. But the thing is, like, if you're willing to learn and adapt, and the more you put your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas out there, the more valuable you become. The more value you put out, the more value that you get. Does that make sense? Yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And you can start right, even if you think you don't have any value, you can start right now by creating value. Find something that you like. You might not even be passionate about it yet. It's just something that you like. And you have literally the entire world's knowledge at your fingertip with search engines. Learn everything that you can about a subject that you're passionate about. And all you have to do is point a camera or a microphone at your face and then just start regurgitating it. Put your own twist on it. And that's value that people will want. I can tell people all day long about, what it's like to be in a wheelchair, but that's not the same thing as what you would say. So even though we're both talking about being in a wheelchair, this is from my perspective. You're going to have your perspective, and they're going to be completely different. So, and there's value in both of those. So, don't limit yourself to where you're at. I mean, you constantly have to move forwards. Yes, you're going to have to learn things, and yes, you're going to have to put an effort to put things out so people can take it in. And that's what people are going to love. And that's what that's why they're going to want to be around you, is because they know that you're constantly going to be giving them some sort of value.
Thanks for listening to the Man vs. Wheelchair podcast. If you guys got this far, that's amazing, and I hope you got some value, and I want you to do one more thing for me. Go to manversuswheelchair.com and sign up to join the club. That's where we're going to give you exclusive content and more tips on how to level up in life. So go to that right now. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to hit that follow button.